sensing search. An orphan. Caution advised. Something is here.
Recommended to proceed with caution.
The area is highly unusual.
Hello, my name is Jacek Ziemba and I am game director in Project Cronos.
And my name is Shamilian Bukhtin. I'm lead combat designer here in Cronos.
And today we want to talk about combat in Cronos The New Dawn.
Serious business. So we want to make a combat experience in a surviving atmosphere where we put a lot of emphasis into a tactical experience for the players.
We need to stay cautious and call all the time because our enemies, orphans, can merge with each other. So when you kill an enemy, it creates, in a way, a fuel for other enemies to be absorbed and then to become stronger. So yeah, it's tactical gameplay, but during the fight, you need to also think very fast. What should you do?
Since we're aiming into the tactical and decision-making approach, we are making each encounter in the game handcrafty, which leads to that somewhere you have environment as your own advantage. Somewhere not, and it's going to be a disadvantage. Somewhere you can use the canister. Somewhere you can lure the enemy out into your position. Or you can do vice versa and just go into melee and fight with your enemies with your best luck.
There's no one solution to how to, clear out arenas and so on. Depends on your playstyle. Even in here when we, develop the game, some of us play more offensive, more defensive. It all depends on your loadout, your gameplay style in a way, and how you want to approach it, and how many resources you have. So there's a lot of variability there.
It's actually up to you how the resource management would be handled, because here we are giving you different types of weapons, different tools, abilities, and throughout the game you have to by yourself figure out what works best for you. what kind of player you are and what kind of strategy fits for you better in our environment.
Resource management is also a key, of course, in survival horror, but definitely in our game. So it's very important what you are doing before the fight with the resource, during the fight and after the fight. If you are a more offensive player, you can craft maybe more ammunition. If you're a more defensive one or want to have more health packs, okay, from the same resources you will decide, okay, I want to have something for, when it will be needed.
Yes, of course you can. As many other survival horror games, we made a decent progression tree for the player, so you can upgrade your weaponry, your tools, your suit. It's up to you how you would like to upgrade your character that fits best for your playstyle. In Cronos game, we came up with different takes on the enemies. So here we build different types of roles for them. So I'm imagining a role of a runner whose basic goal is to run to the player and kill him as fast as it can. Or a different one, which is like a ranger character who stands behind and shoots you and forces you to go closer to him. There are bruisers, there are big-ass tanky guys whose the only goal is to grab as much resources they can from you. With that idea, we created a lot of unique encounters within the game, and we're asking you to think, analyze, and decide on yourself what would be the best target to start fighting.
All of that is flipped by a merge system, so even if you're very good at what Shamil said, when merge happen, now your running enemy can become a tank enemy.
Oh yeah.
And even have a range attack now, or other attacks, and just become stronger and stronger if you let them merge, so don't do it. So you need to be very careful, how to approach combat with our enemies, because different things can happen during the fight. But also we mix that with different types of enemies, like more sneaky ones, or like more trap-like ones here and there, also to change the pace of the game. But also I think somebody said something about boss fights.
No, we're not talking about boss fights.
So yeah, that's a secret, sorry. Yes and no. So all travelers need to jump to the past to extract some targets, but each of them will have different, let's say, list of them. You can find an upgrade in the game that can tell the state of health of enemies. So how much they still have before you kill them by using guns. You raise your leg and you stomp.
With a heavy sound.
Yeah. No. You will suffer. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more materials in the future about Cronos the New Dawn.
Focus your attention.
I have encountered an unprecedented orphan. It was in a state of suppressed recomposition.
The behavior pattern of the orphans populating
Giant. Sleeping.
they become
What do you see? Again.
Animals. Fighting. The predecessor, ND3500, reached. Accessing predecessor's travel log. Attempting data salvage. Such is our calling. Such is our calling.
Good thing I was around.
Cronos, The New Dawn is an upcoming third-person survival horror game, developed and published by Bloober Team. This game is Bloober Team's most ambitious original IP yet, blending tactical combat, atmospheric horror, and moral complexity. Cronos The New Dawn combines time travel storytelling, body horror aesthetics, precise survival mechanics, and a psychological narrative within a richly tense setting. With fall 2025 on the horizon, it is scheduled for release on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Windows PC. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game represents a bold leap forward for the studio, blending their hallmark psychological storytelling with intense, system-driven action mechanics, forging a deeper, more immersive horror experience. Set in an alternate history dystopia scarred by a mysterious cataclysm known as The Change, the game transports players to a bleak, post-apocalyptic vision of 1980s Poland. Within this decaying world, crumbling brutalist structures, unnerving silence, and twisted mutations collide with flickering remnants of retro-futuristic tech struggling to sustain what's left of humanity. Players take on the role of The Traveler, a silent yet highly customizable operative of the Collective, a shadowy organization working to reverse humanity's downfall by exploiting temporal anomalies. Clutching the Harvester, a grotesque biomechanical device that rips essences from the dead, the Traveler must descend into unstable time rifts, each a decaying pocket of memory twisted by trauma. There, they relive fractured moments of the past, haunted by the remnants of lost lives and the horrors they left behind. As you piece together the broken past, buried memories begin to surface, each tied to intimate stories and difficult moral choices. Every decision, whether to preserve history or rewrite it, echoes across time, shaping the fate of a dying world and unlocking multiple paths and endings. Inspired by titles like Dead Space, Resident Evil 4 Remake and The Evil Within, the combat system demands precision and strategy. Every encounter with a twisted foe, known as an orphan, is a test of survival, as each one harbors distinct biological weak points that must be exploited through tactical dismemberment. Resources are limited, forcing players to carefully manage gas mask filters, batteries, and stimulant injections to stay alive. Weapon upgrades rely on rare salvaged tech fragments, making every expedition a calculated risk with survival hanging in the balance. Encounters with twisted and deformed beings known as the Orphans are infrequent, but mercilessly intense. These mutated predators adapt to your actions, stalking from the shadows and lashing out at the slightest sound or flicker of light. The game's hybrid horror tone blends visceral creature terror with a creeping sense of existential dread. As the traveler lingers within corrupted memories, the mind begins to fracture, hallucinations, temporal distortions, and false flashbacks blur reality, turning memory into a maze of fear and doubt. Though the game leans further into action, Cronos The New Dawn stays true to Bloober Team's narrative core. Themes of identity, memory, and free will pulse through every step. The Harvester is more than a tool, it reshapes memories, blurs timelines, and challenges players to confront a chilling question: what actually happened, and what was rewritten? The Collective's true intentions are also suspicious. As you delve deeper into their hidden agenda, unsettling revelations begin to surface, hinting that their vision of salvation may demand a steep price, the sacrifice of free will itself. The world unfolds as a semi-open landscape of ruined cities, abandoned towns, and forgotten bunkers, all linked through central hubs that encourage non-linear exploration. Hidden within are pocket anomalies, fractured zones where reality has broken down, offering optional rift missions, lost lore, and encounters with strange, lingering souls. Players will engage with environmental puzzles, restore time-worn machinery, and decode the signals of fractured rifts, like Metroidvania elements that gradually unlock new paths as more essences and upgrades are acquired. Revisiting earlier zones reveals previously hidden secrets, waiting in the shadows of a world slowly unraveling. Now, enjoy the stunning screenshots, immerse yourself in the haunting world of Cronos, The New Dawn.
you.